Well, now it's time on the final World of Sport programme to look back over its 20 years' life and enjoy some of the best moments. One thing is inescapable. Techniques and fashions have changed drastically, and we've certainly done our best to change with them and give you what you want, which explains why the list of sports we've covered numbers over 100. The formula must have been pretty popular because we've calculated that the total audience for World of Sport in its 1,067 programmes adds up to 4.5 billion. And that's nearly 1.25 times the population of the entire world. It all started on January the 2nd, 1965, with my old friend and colleague Eamon Andrews as host, and the professed aims of the show then haven't really changed at all. With a battery of tape machines backed by a staff of Fleet Street sub-editors, World of Sport will bring you all the glamour and thrills of Saturday afternoon sport right into your living room. But of course, the technology has changed. Film of outstanding sporting events of the day, they proudly claimed, will be rushed onto waiting aircraft. Well, now events come live to you by satellite from the other side of the world. But if you think that is a dramatic change, and of course it is, take a look at the first World of Sport billing on TV Times. What catches your eye straight away is not what was on the show, but British European Airways bargain break to the Costa Brava. 14 days for £47, 16 shillings. It costs you that these days if your car gets towed away from Regent's Park. But some things never change. Wrestling has been with us on ITV for over 30 years in November and will no doubt continue just as long. But always, in amongst the cross buttocks and the drop kicks, is the sport's one instantly recognisable voice, that of commentator Kent Walton. So World of Sport wasn't exactly a springboard to other things for Kent, but it certainly was for men, well, men like Jimmy Hill. Yes, Jimmy, having taken Coventry City into the First Division, made television his full-time occupation, first on World of Sport. And of course, he eventually teamed up there with a young lad called Brian Moore, like Eamon Andrews, fresh out of Radio Sports Report and imported to ITV as their #2 football commentator and presenter. Working with them at the time was a slip of a lad who started as Eamon's understudy and traded under the name of Richard Davis. But if you're not a racing fan, then there's always On the Ball or professional wrestling or international sports special. And in that, we bring you almost everything. So why don't you try it one Saturday afternoon? Join me for World of Sport at 10 to 1. And then, by the magic of television, with a little help from a couple of aeroplanes, Richard became Dickie Davis. And I have to say that it was Jimmy Hill's idea to change the name, and he has to take at least some of the blame for the fact that I've spent over 3,760 hours in front of a camera with World of Sport. That's 22.5 solid weeks. It may seem to some people more like 22.5 years, but seriously, if I had to sum up in a couple of words what World of Sport has meant to me, and I hope to you too, I'd say it was quality and fun.
And they have chosen the right stage here. At least 70,000 people, $6 million in the house. One of the greatest viewing of all time of any sporting event. The flashing for the last 10 seconds in the corner are coming up. And this ring will look like the relief of Mafeking when they're finished with it. And it's all over, and they know that Ali has won it.
Great stuff again here.
No, Mr.
And you really shouldn't... Oh, they're both on the table. I don't think you've ever seen this before.
It's forbidden to stand up on the table. It's also forbidden to sit down on the table. Please. Stop.
Good swing, made a good pass at it. They like it, obviously, on the tee. And why not? Indeed, a hole-in-one! What a fantastic shot.
You could get this one with the cover on. Great way to finish. The 1981 champion, Jerry Pate.
Oh, he hurt himself.
He did it. He solid did it.
And it's Cram who stretches away.
And Gonzalez is coming up and overtaking Coe. There's the world record time in the corner of the screen. That was the 1,500-meter time, but Cram, with 50 meters to go, is going to beat him and beat the world record. Yes! Cram has done it again. A fantastic achievement. And Steve Cram has rewritten the record books for the second time in 11 days.
Bailey with a useful cushion of 32 points. Hinkson already out at 470. The bar now at 4 meters 90. This could really win him the Olympic title. Oh, and over so easily.
Referee, could I just have a few words with you, please? What inspection are you making now?
Go away or I'll blast your head off.
Did you hear the question?
Pardon?
What inspection are you making now?
Well, I just got to brush off the cobwebs of the goal post. As at Wembley, in later years, there's no goals been scored. And the cobwebs have come all over the goal. That is the only goal down there where Malcolm MacDonald put 5 in. Yeah?
Yeah.
You verstehen?
Yes, I do
Good,
understand.
Yes,
your French is very good.
Yes, and I've got to now inspect the nets on the goals.
What about the pitch itself?
Well, I've got to look now for the Humphreys.
What are the Humphreys?
The Humphreys?
Yeah.
Watch out, watch out! There's a Humphrey about!
Irishmen have something of a reputation for propping up bars, but Mick O'Brien, Athlone Town's goalkeeper, had a penchant for breaking them. As we pick up the action, he'd done this one in once already.
An extraordinary situation. Extraordinary situation down at the Athlone goal. After that goal, as the players were regrouping in the centre, Mick O'Brien climbed up on the goal, jumped on the goal he had broken earlier, and he has now been ordered off the field by the referee. With the goal in bits, the crossbar, which had been repaired, took nearly a quarter of an hour to repair, is now in absolute bits.
But if you're worried about football going to the dogs, don't despair. Here comes the answer to all our problems. Never stop running, plenty of skill, go for miles on a plate of biscuits, and no trouble with the television rights. Trouble is, they do occasionally go over the top. Well, we wouldn't put that at the top of sports we've invented or pioneered, but there have been a few, like rallycross. It actually started in 1967 when the RAC rally was cancelled because of a foot and mouth outbreak, and we found ourselves covering a special stage. That gave us the idea for an event which could produce all the hazards of rallying, but over a tight course where television wouldn't miss a thing.
Chanderoy, and in fact it looked almost as if Ron Douglas was helping him round, and I think perhaps he did.
John Lowe, for one, will be grateful we turned darts into a television sport, and literally thousands of fans turned up to watch what was then the biggest shootout in the game.
So welcome live to Ali Pali, where it really is all happening here. The news of the world final. You might as well call it the nudes of the world. We've just had a streaker. It really is absolutely electric. Now Chapman. Chapman really hitting these pedals. 100!
Another shootout with a magic formula to it was penalty prize, certainly for the young finalists who made it through to Wembley on League Cup final day, where they faced goalkeepers of the calibre of Peter Shilton.
And he scores this time. And Gary Worrell, the Granada winner from Stockport, has beaten Peter Shilton and won the 1976 On the Ball penalty prize award.
And the formula attracted the top pros too. Here is Portugal's Eusebio, such a star in the '66 World Cup, who put 9 out of his 10 shots past England's Gordon Banks. And once you've got it, as they say, you never lose it. Ferenc Puskás, captain of the legendary Hungarians, also scored 9, and with that level of skill, he could well have got a job in that Arsenal shirt, even at the age of 45. We also pioneered indoor tennis. The Dewar Cup attracted the world's top players like Ilie Nastase and Jimmy Connors here at the Royal Albert Hall. ITV took athletics into a new era, setting up special meetings like the one where Gateshead's favourite, Brendan Foster, attacked the world 3,000 metres record.
It's totally a one-man race, a superlative demonstration of power running. There are the back markers way down the field, and here comes Brendan now. With 150 to go, the crowd are standing, small children, old ladies, wizened men and young men shouting and stomping coming across the infield. They'll flock around him as he comes down the home straight. It's a tremendous feeling. It's what athletics is all about. 7:37.6 the world record to beat. He's got to be inside it. Come on, Brendan, all the way through the tape. He goes through. 35 seconds, 7:35. Done it by 2.5 seconds at the least. The last lap around 58 seconds. Just a magnificent, one of the finest runs of middle distance history, one of the greatest individual performances I think any of us have ever been privileged to see. That really was just incredible.
8-ball pool is booming, as we proved, with an audience of over 6 million for the world final between Maltese Joe Barbara and America's Jim Rempe.
And Rempe poised to collect the World Championship and the £7,500.
Can we have order, please, ladies and gentlemen?
So now just the not an easy shot, Steve.
Quiet, please.
He should get this one though, Jim. Jim should get this one crystal without any problems at all. There's a lot of pressure on this shot though.
And Joe, all he can do is sit and watch. He's fought hard, but one shot can decide it all now.
Quiet, please.
It rolls in, and Rempe has done it. And Maltese Joe congratulates his opponent. Jim Rempe delighted. On the table, Jim Rempe is the world champion. He's beaten Joe Barbara 6 frames to 4.
But the Super Bowl remains America's biggest sport event of the year, and it was World of Sport who introduced British viewers to the niceties of that gentle game.
Tarvenden now looking for Sammy White and finds it. Oh! It looked like his head came off. Sammy White there, totally crunched between Skip Thomas and Jack Tatum. A really brutal, horrifying assault.
New sports and also new standards of coverage. We've been peeping over Wembley's roof for years now, and in 1973, another coup.
And Bob Stokoe showed no fear in breaking with convention and allowing an ITV camera with his team on the ride to Wembley Stadium. Unique pictures, and really the first real sign of the day of just how relaxed and confident these Sunderland players were. They really were there basking in the whole mood of this glorious day, and I think to a large extent too in the happiness that their supporters were showing outside on the roads leading to the stadium.
A new dimension to match coverage too came with ITV's introduction of the low camera at Wembley, producing shots like these. And then we broke down prejudice, not to say doors, and actually got cameras inside dressing rooms. This was before Mick Shannon's FA Cup semi-final triumph with Southampton. And this is him with Peter Osgood enjoying the fruits of their labour and dreaming of Wembley. But dressing rooms can be painful places too. Not just when you lose, but when, like Dave Watson, you have to have a stitch and a cut eye that would rank alongside a few of Henry Cooper's. But to show there was no discrimination in our coverage, or perhaps more accurately, uncoverage, we also ventured into the inner sanctum of the England women's lacrosse team. They'd won, so why shouldn't they bounce up and down with delight? As indeed Arsenal did when they equalised with Liverpool here. But who scored?
Bradford, back over his head. Kelly is right in there, playing much more as a striker in this extra time. And it's there! George Graham! It's George Graham who got the touch and makes it 1-1.
Well, it was a kind of muddle goal, this. The ball went up high. John Radford flicks it up and takes a chance. Says, somebody go for that. And Eddie Kelly goes for it, although he's got no chance. And as the Liverpool defenders dither, George Graham's there, gets a toe to it, and it dribbles past Clements into the net.
But did he score? By the following day, our behind-the-goal camera and slow-motion machine had new evidence.
But we can reveal today that there was, in fact, a surprise scorer in yesterday's cup final. Now, I thought that the first Arsenal goal was scored by George Graham, and so did practically every journalist in the press box. We can show you now that, in fact, it was scored by Eddie Kelly. You'll see John Radford lift the ball over his own head, high into the air, and Eddie Kelly will challenge for it. What you've got to watch out for in a moment is as George Graham comes in to make his late challenge. There's Kelly going for the ball, and it'll come off the chest of Tommy Smith, and Kelly will get another touch. Now watch Graham coming in from the right of the picture. Does he touch that ball? We say he doesn't. We say that, in fact, the scorer of that first goal was Eddie Kelly.
And everyone agreed. ITV also invented panels. First, the sort that makes draws in studios. The late Alan Hardacre and Sam Bolton here flanking League President Len Shipman. And as he draws the first number, remember, Mr. Shipman was then chairman of Leicester City.
The first number is number 13.
Leicester City or Hull City?
Then there was the World Cup in 1970 and four musketeers who cut and thrust their way to a new level of soccer debate, hosted by the enthusiastic Brian Moore, backed up by the quietly dressed Jimmy Hill, the ever-modest Malcolm Allison, the unstoppable Derek Dougan, the irrepressible Pat Crerand, and the youthful Bob McNabb. Well, that was one panel that was never beaten, and their fire from the lip mantle has now been assumed by their natural successors, our very own Dempsey and Makepeace, the Saint and Greavesy. But you know what they say about a picture being worth 1,000 words, and that's certainly true when a camera is actually at the heart of the action, and the cameraman is riding in a Grand Prix.
And there we can see the view camera on Randy Mamola's machine as the lights change to green. Mamola starts to push his bike into line. He's made a good start. You can see the pit disappear, and Mamola must be leading the charge. We're at the front of the field as he heads into the first left-hander, and this is Randy Mamola. Mamola out in front, peeling over hard right, the track awash with water, the rain pouring down. Well, what a dramatic start to what I'm sure will be a dramatic race.
A loop now. Remember, there will be quite a bit of G on and G2 start. So here we go, pulling up now, nice and straight. Still comfortable though? Yes, very comfortable. Now look, here we go. As we come near the top, then it all slackens off a little bit, and you can see the horizon coming back down behind your head. And as we go on the way down, then the G will start to build up again.
Here's Benny Parsons driving hard on the inside. They look from the back. Eric Bell just in front of Neil Bonnet. As they go through the, sideways and slamming into the wall. It is Derek Bell's automobile. Bell taking a terrible hit. Still crashing and sliding. Derek Bell's car all torn up. And that is the Bell car coming to a halt, and immediately he climbs out.
Come on, baby. Do it.
Left right for 156. Left right at 156 feet.
Then again, television can eavesdrop when someone is fast approaching boiling points, like Kenny Carter here. Yes, it's for you.
Hello, referee. That race, I had turned in the corner, and Bruce just took my leg, and I couldn't even turn me. Just both of my wheels just went from under me, and he just ran me straight through the fence coming out. I was on the outside in front, and he just took my leg straight underneath me, and I'm not kidding, referee. I just hadn't a chance. No, I've been injured as it isn't. Hello?
No, it wasn't the wrong number. Another sports star prepared to speak his mind was Tony Greig. He just lost the England captaincy because of his newly discovered Packer connections, and his target was the MCC.
I'll tell you, one of the things which my wife, and certainly I know Alan Knott's wife, has reacted to has been the fact that in recent times we've gone on tour and lords have told me how many nights of the week I can sleep in the same room with my wife. Now, I mean, I don't think that that is fair. I've been told when I've been on tour, as has every single other player, when we went to Australia, we were allowed to sleep with our wives for 21 nights during that tour. And then once that had happened, of course, we had to be very devious and book the wife in down the road. And then we all nipped out and ran down the road and spent the night in that hotel and got back into the hotel before the sun came up in the morning, and everyone said, well played, that's the way to go.
And that's where we halt for a couple of minutes. Halfway down memory lane. Still to come, reporters getting themselves into trouble, daredevils getting themselves out of it, and Nijinsky in full flight. World records too, and we reckon reporter John Helm can lay claims to at least one of them.
Arsenal, Aston Villa, Birmingham, Brighton, Coventry, Everton, which leads Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, Nottingham Forest, Southampton, Stoke, Sunderland, Swansea, Tottenham, West Brom, West Ham, Wolves, Barnsley, Blackburn, Bolton, Cambridge, Cardiff, Charlton, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Derby, Grimsby, Leicester, Luton, Newcastle, Norwich, Oldham, Orient, QPR, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Shrewsbury, Watford, Wrexham, Brentford, Bristol, Rose, Burnley, Carlisle, Chester, Chesterfield, Doncaster, Exeter, Fulham, Gillingham, Huddersfield, Lincoln, Millwall, Newport, Oxford, Plymouth, Portsmouth, Preston, Reading, Southend, Swindon, Walsall, Wimbledon, Aldershot, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Bradford, Bury, Colchester, Crewe, Down, Halifax, Hartlepool, Hereford, Hull, Mansfield, Northampton, Peterborough, Port Vale, Rochdale, Scunthorpe, Sheffield United, Stockport, Torquay, Tranmere, Wigan and New York. I didn't miss one, did I?
Halifax Town.
Right, we'll continue with our nostalgic dip into the world of sport memory bank of fun and unusual items in a moment. But first of all, soccer. Let's have a look at the situation in the First Division. Still no goals at Highbury between Arsenal and Newcastle, or at Villa Park in the match between Aston Villa and Everton. Everton currently, of course, in 6th place, an important match there for them. Coventry 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. So Coventry giving West Brom, the bottom team, a hard time at the moment. In fact, I think it's 3 by now. It's 3-0 now. Goals by Mickey Adams, Terry Gibson and Trevor Peake. Steve Hunt has been sent off for a Bennett foul on this one. Leicester 0, Ipswich 0. Look at the scoreline at Anfield. Liverpool 4, Tottenham 1. The Liverpool scorers Mark Lawrenson, Ian Rush and Jan Mulvey scored 2 penalties. The scorer for Spurs, John Chidozie. Still 0-0 at Old Trafford in the match between Manchester United and Southampton. Manchester United trying to hang on to that 100% record. Oxford are 1-0 at home to Manchester City, their scorer John Truick. And Queen's Park Rangers doing very well against Birmingham. QPR 3, Birmingham 1. Scoring for Queen's Park Rangers, Leroy Rosinia, Gary Bannister, Ian Dawes and Ken Armstrong getting the Birmingham goal. It's 3-2 now. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Luton 2. Brian Marwood and Lee Chapman scoring 2 of those goals. Mick Harford scoring for Luton. That's more goal scorers to come there, but those are the ones I have at the moment. That's a full-time result because it was a morning kick-off at Watford at Vicarage Road. Watford 3, Chelsea 1. Scoring for Watford, John Barnes, Luther Blissett and Steve Terry. And the Chelsea goal coming from Doug Rugby. 4-2 now at Upton Park. West Ham 4, Nottingham Forest 2. And 2 of those goals by Frank McAvenny. He's certainly been on target. 10 goals in 11 games so far for him. Shilton has saved a Robson penalty in the match at Old Trafford, so that's why it's still Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. Southampton a little unlucky then, lucky perhaps, but they've got Peter Shilton, England's goalkeeper there. In the second division, the match at the top of the table, Portsmouth 1, Blackburn 0. Still no further score there. The scorer for Portsmouth, Mike Shannon, with his first goal for Pompey. And the score in the important match-up in the Premier Division in Scotland, Rangers 0, Aberdeen 2. The match has been delayed for a while there because of crowd trouble. After some incidents, certainly in the first half anyway. 5 men booked and 2 people sent off in that game. In fact, some more news now. Leicester 1, Leicester 1-0 up. Alan Smith scoring for them. At the back, bad back pass. It's an own goal there. Right, let's carry on now. To survive for 20 years, of course, requires the professional skills of a lot of backroom guys and gals, but unfairly or not, it is always the guys and gals in front of the camera who get all the glamour. And just occasionally, the odd embarrassing or difficult situation. So here we go again with our I've Been Everywhere section.
Willie Carson is champion jockey. He's won every big race in the book, but he's still got at least one ambition: to fly with these lads, the Red Arrows.
Get up, get away. Football training at Elm Park's a piece of cake after this little lot.
Get in there. Go, driving, straight up. Give him a push, straight up. Throw him on there, get on there, come on. Give him a bump. That's it, over the top. Come on, get him up there. Get your ass up. Get over. Roll over the top. Over you go. Come on, push them up. Open them up. Open them up, Rosenthal. Get in there. Come on. Get up. Go. 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 Keep up with him. Push him in there. Get in that water. Get in. Come on then. Get off your knees. Come on. Drive. Drive on. All the time. Over the top. Rosenthal, come here. Get back here, you horrible little man. Come here. Over the top, Sunshine. Come on. No cheating in my army. Come here.
I think I've got the best job of the day. We're 1,000 foot above Wembley. Ahead of me now, Brian, the cameraman's trying to see over my shoulder. There's the famous Twin Towers, with space about 10 feet by 4 feet. And all this talk of pre-match meals and champagne and celebrity bars. We've got nothing in here. I haven't even bought a sandwich, but never mind. We can have a good day, I think.
So this could be a lucky omen, you think?
I hope so.
All right.
Could you get a camera on that one, please?
We have a lady here with our oh dear.
Come in here.
I'm not sure if we should show that.
Now, he's never jumped 13 trucks. He's jumped 12, but when he tried the 13 before, what happened was he broke his leg. But again this afternoon, as Ken's right there. Good luck, Ken.
He's shouting something to World of Sport down there, Mohammed, just now. I'm sorry, we missed you with that.
I'm glad my fans in London can see me in my last days. As you see, I'm getting old now. Yours well would have took his man in one round.
Tell me, which sportsman has given you more pleasure than any other in '74?
Oh, you are awful, but I like you.
Well, it was then I got the impression that Jimmy thought that I might just be the weak link in the wall.
Oh, you twat, Jimmy!
Saint could barely raise a smile, never mind anything else after that. Plenty of sport make pain a price you pay for indulging, while some make it the entry fee.
This big drop, it's a frightening drop. He comes over. Oh, he hasn't made it. What a spectacular fall. What a tremendous fall for Del Masso of Italy.
And here he comes on Sandstorm from the Northcott string. And look at that horse, Buck. Now, just look at him. Real quick action like that and kicking weight straight out. Turning off to the left now.
Oh, that's a tough way to make a living.
Oh, yeah.
And this is it, the 16-year-old kid, without a rehearsal, he's never done the world record. 16 double-decker buses before. Evel Knievel of America has only done, I should say, 13 double-decker buses before. Evel Knievel has only done the single-deck bus jump. And here he comes, a wave of the Union Jack. And Eddie Kidd, the London kid, is going to try and beat the Evel Knievel record. He's got to get in at full power at the 17-foot takeoff. And I think he's made it. He's done it. He's done it clean and so simply. And he's rushed in and he's into the ditch at the bottom there.
Mike in good position. Oops, no, Mike just really tumbled. Plunkett. It looks like he's all right, but Plunkett, that was the worst fall we've seen today, Kevin.
The record 31.3 set yesterday, and as you can see, Trudeau has taken a substantial lead over Didier. Gets to the top now, 100 feet up, rings the bell, and down he comes. Marvin Trudeau's got to be sore from that adventure yesterday. Here comes Didier in a hurry. Trudeau wins it again, hits the ground hard. Sawdust, actually.
How are things up there, George? Got some hard moves to do. Okay. Hardly any protection, of course. Right. But what else is new, huh? I don't know. Not much. All right, this is really tricky. Oh, my God. George, are you all right? Yep.
You okay, George?
Yep. You sure? Yep.
Beautiful day, and I'm going to prove to the world that I am the greatest superhero that ever lived and will ever live.
And this is it. There he goes.
They are all in there fighting, and the fight is for third, though they begin to spring out a bit now.
Well,
that was
Little Al gets into the side, and Al, an incredible accident, both cars flipping. Another serious accident at the Michigan 500. Two cars together.
Even racing can be a dangerous game, particularly steeplechasing, as illustrated in this race at Kempton Park. And whether over the jumps or on the flat, it's been a central feature of World of Sport. The real revolution came in the autumn of 1969 when the idea of the ITV7 was born, and more than one lucky punter can thank us for a windfall of over £100,000 to that basic 10p stake. For the rest of us, the memories have been of great horses. None to match Nijinsky, piloted by Lester Piggott, to the Triple Crown in the year of 1970.
Nijinsky cruising up on the outside, as smooth as silk, with a furlong and a half to go. Is Nijinsky cruising into the lead from Politico, and followed by Meadowville now in third place, and then Charlton. 150 yards to go, and this great horse striding home Nijinsky from Meadowville, challenging strongly on this side. Politico on the far side. At the post is Nijinsky the winner.
More of Lester Piggott later on, but now to National Hunt and a fantastic finish to the Whitbread Gold Cup in '74 involving our own John Oaksey on the left there on Proud Tarquin and Ron Barry on the Dickler on the right.
They have one to go. It's Proud Tarquin in the Dickler on the near side, and there's little two between them. They've got now this uphill, grueling finish, and it's Proud Tarquin, John Oaksey, holding the Dickler on the near side, Ron Barry, but it's not, the race is not over yet. As they run up towards the line, it's going to be a desperately near thing. Proud Tarquin on the far side, the Dickler on the near side, Ingstinger in third.
Sadly, though first past the post, John lost the race for interfering with the Dickler on the run-in. 10 years later, the Whitbread produced the finest finish we've ever seen, and certainly the most popular winner. Just watch out for Special Cargo in the light blue colours on the inside as we pick up the commentary with Graham Good.
It's plundering, let off. Diamond Edge rallying, Special Cargo coming on the run, and Diamond Edge is coming through. Diamond Edge just coming through to shake that off. Special Cargo finishing well, a three-way photo with the Whitbread. What a fantastic finish, Diamond Edge, Special Cargo, and let off. These three in a photo, and Kevin Mooney thinks that he's won on Special Cargo, giving a victory salute.
And indeed he had, giving Her Royal Highness the Queen Mother her most important victory ever as an owner. Not only the crowd and the winner's enclosure, but the whole nation shared her moment of joy. Steve Cawthon, the American Wonder Boy, came to England at the age of 18 as winner of the American Triple Crown, already a millionaire. This was his first race.
Running now down towards the final furlong and a half, and it's still Twickenham from Marquis Universal, and Steve Cawthon now goes for the stick, as does Pat Edery on Red Rufus on the outsides. Between these three, they're just clear of Bold Owl, who's trying to come back and close, but Marquis Universal coming with a good run on the outside of Twickenham. It's going to be very close between these two. Marquis Universal, in fact, takes up the running now. Into the final half furlong, it's Marquis Universal who's got on from Twickenham approaching line. Marquis Universal is the winner, Twickenham is second, Red Rufus is third, Bold Owl fourth.
From the rich kids on the flat to a master horseman of the steeplechasing world, Stan Meller, now a successful trainer, set a new landmark in the sport on Ouzo at Warwick.
Ouzo is in the lead. This is going to be his 1,000 winner. This is the one he's waited for since last Friday. Here comes Ouzo. He's got about 200 yards to go. He's going well at Pontepierre. 100 yards to go. Still Ouzo in the lead. Pontepierre in second place. They've got about 50 yards to go. And here it is, the 1,000 winner for Stan Meller coming up to line. Ouzo is the winner.
The supreme jockey on the flat in the 20 years of World of Sport has, of course, been Lester Piggott. This year, he set a record number of 29 English classic wins that will take an awful lot of beating.
And it's Lester Piggott on Shadid in the lead from Ben, the horse he could have ridden up on the outside, but Lester gives Willie a look round there, and Lester has to shake up Shadid as Ben throws down the challenge. Supreme Leader is back in third and coming inside the final furlong with Shadid, but Ben is staying on very strongly up on the outside. Shadid and Ben from Supreme Leader down the centre of the track. Shadid could just win this, going up towards the line. Shadid's going to win it. Shadid from Ben in a photo. Supreme Leader third.
Yes, it'll be a long time before we see that bit of racing history eclipsed. But you can look forward to the best of British racing on Channel 4. And now we're in the home straight, the last frantic furlong of the World of Sport story. Ahead of us, royalty, records and all-time greats. And that definitely includes the very young lady who begins our finale.
Isn't that a marvellous shot?
Wonderful stroke. Come on, go in the hole. Go in. Oh, it's... Oh! You... He doesn't realise, of course, he's too small to see up the top of the hill.
She's holding on to the silver medal. No one's going to take that away from her unless Tessa Sanderson does. But Lilac wants the gold, and this crowd wants the gold. And she knows it, and she's been feeding on it for the last year. They expect it. She's thrown 5 metres further than Fatima Whitbread, but today she trails by nearly 2 metres. This is the very last throw, the last round. It's a huge, huge throw, and it's looking very, very long. And it's over 70 metres. Can you believe it? On the very last throw, Lilac gets over 70 metres. Fatima Whitbread loses the gold.
What a sensational start to that runoff.
Well, you know, I dropped it on Hans. You know, Hans and me is number 1 and 2 in the world. And, like, I just proved that I was that bit better than him on today, you know. I did it again.
You have a little feeling for Hans, though. We must have thought that he'd won it at one stage.
Well, you know, this is the World Speedway Final and everything can happen on it. I've won it.
And he's just got 1 lap to go, and the celebrations again are going to be sensational. Our heart bleeds for Hans Nielsen, who may just have lost to a bent handlebar, but Gunderson goes over the line, and listen to the reception.
For the first round. And an after-blow punch there. He's got to disqualify him for that. That really was a long time after the bell, and it's not sure that Weaver can get over it. And Tony Anthony raising his hands as though he's going to be the winner, and he has disqualified him.
I'm Muhammad Ali. The world know who I am. They know I'm confident, they know I talk. But there's some fella in London, England, named some Brian Clough, some soccer player or something. Anyway, I heard all the way in America, heard all the way in Indonesia that this fella talks too much. They say he's another Muhammad Ali. There's just one Muhammad Ali. And I want you to, whoever you are, you're not a fighter, and you don't take my job. I'm the talker. Now, Clough, I've had enough. Stop it.
Well, are you going to stop it?
No, I want to fight him.
And here comes another chance for England. This time it's Prince Charles with the backhander. Prince Charles now. And it's there. So Prince Charles has scored England's second goal.
What a marvellous day for Scotland. What a marvellous day for Robert Miller. A stage win, and if memory serves me right, he could be, I think he's the first Scotsman ever to win a stage in the Tour de France. Miller comes home, Aldegardo is right behind him, but he's not going to catch him now. Miller is going to win this stage and win it so well.
Now it's all down to Prince Andrew on the Bolting Rabbit.
Kill. Kill.
Good grief, that is right out of the ground. In amongst the car park.
Has never been seen in televised history. He wants 141. Looks like he's coming for 317s. Yes. It's Treble 18, his next target. Yes. He wants 2 18s for £100,000.
He has done it!
Well, come on, Steve. Pull a fabulous shot out. I'm sure you can do it. And he's playing this with a lot of screw to stay on the black. Come on, get it. Fabulous shot. Fabulous shot. And this is it. The first 147 break on television.
140.
Well, I'm shaking.
And I'll
Quiet,
bet,
please.
I'll bet
This is
Steve
it.
at this moment can see the pocket closing up and closing up and
Come
getting
on, Steve.
smaller.
No.
There it is! Beautiful! 147! Absolutely magnificent break.
Yes, memories of 20 very enjoyable years of World of Sport crammed into less than 40 minutes. We'll have the results round up in a few minutes, but let's have a look at the situation in the First Division now. Well, there you see a result at Highbury, no goals. Arsenal 0, Newcastle 0. It's still a latest score at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. Coventry 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. They're in a very favourable position. West Brom still at the foot of the table with only 1 point. A result at Filbert Street, Leicester 1, Ipswich 0. The latest from Anfield is Liverpool 4, Tottenham 1. That will certainly keep them in second place and strengthen their position there. A result at Old Trafford, Manchester United have beaten Southampton by 1-0, the scorer Mark Hughes, so they maintain their 100% record. Oxford United 1, Manchester City, that is a result, as is Queen's Park Rangers 3, Birmingham 1. The latest score there, Sheffield Wednesday 3, Luton 2. A result from the morning kick-off, Watford 3, Chelsea 1, and still playing West Ham United 4, Nottingham Forest 2. After the break, the full results roundup. So that's it. Don't forget snooker from the Goya Matchroom Trophy. Former world champion Terry Griffiths against the young player of the year, Liverpool's John Parrott. That's 9:45 tonight on ITV. So World of Sport's 20-year run comes to an end. I think thanks are due to literally thousands of people who've worked behind the scenes on the show in that time, but especially to the crew who wrap it all up now. Don't think you're going to be without us all on Saturday. The Saint and Greavesy with their show and Wrestling will entertain you at lunchtime. Racing is on Channel 4 and there'll be live action at 2:15 on ITV and, of course, the results. From this World of Sport studio, though, it's finally goodbye from all of us. But I'll be with you with snooker tomorrow afternoon. Bye.